What is up, you guys? It's Tess, and I'm really sorry for the late post. I know I said I was going to do Saturdays, but on Friday I got really sick with a sore throat, and so couldn't really talk very much or film, trying to take the day off. So today's video is going to be posted on a Tuesday.
So I don't know why Tess at the time, with a full schedule of classes, sorority stuff, and work, thought she was going to post this video on Tuesday, but it's actually going up on Wednesday. I'm editing it right now and it's Tuesday. So every time she mentions Tuesday, just think Wednesday.
But then I'll have another video ready for Saturday, so hopefully the posting schedule will become a reality. But today I'm going to be talking about book boyfriends I would let date my child. Now, I know that for me personally, I'm a very character-driven person. Like, a plot has to interest me, but at the same time, like, the characters need to be there. Like, they need to be doing their job, they need to be telling the story, they need to be making me, like, root for them, if that makes sense. And so when I read a romance, because obviously we know I'm a very big romance reader, if I hate the love interest, I'm just, like, not interested at all. Like, 100% I'm like, whatever, like, literally every single Colleen Hooper book I've ever read, I'm like, I hate the love interest, like, simply not interested. And so, like, it takes me out of a book. So if you're like me and you need to have, like, a good love interest in a book, this video is for you. I'm going to be talking about love interests that I love and that I would let date my child. I will also be doing a book girlfriends, or like female characters I would let date my child video, but this one was requested by one of my friends, Siobhan, and so I'm going to do this video, and then next video on Saturday is going to be the book of girlfriends I would let date my child. So yeah, let's get right into the video. The first two books I'm going to talk about, I don't have the physical copy of, because one I read on an ebook and the other one I let my big sage borrow. And so we are going to just start with those to get them out of the way. The first book I'm going to be talking about is Kiss Away Your Pain by Debbie Cromack. This is a very underrated indie author novel. I'm on her ARC team. I have read both of her books before they've been released. She also has a third book, Untouchable Zane, which I have not read yet, but the first two books I've read by her are absolutely phenomenal. Kiss Away Your Pain is a story of a girl named Candy. These are interconnected standalones, so this one is the second book, but this pink book behind me, that's the first book. And Candy is best friends with the love interest in the first book, and at her wedding to the main character in the first book, she meets the bartender whose name is Enzo. Enzo is like a little bit younger than Candy, but he becomes instantly enamored by her, and she is just really hurt from her past relationships. She has had a loved one die, and so it made her really I don't want to say unable, but like she's not unwilling to like open her heart to love. But Enzo is completely enamored by her, so he's like, nothing has to happen, like, please just let me take you on a date, like, I just want to be in your life. Like, he is just obsessed with her, and so I love Enzo. Like, I think he is amazing. There's so many sweet little things that he does in this book. He, like, she has to cancel their date because she's sick, so he buys her chicken noodle soup and brings it to her house and takes care of her. Like, he is just the most, like, willing and caring of any book boyfriend I've ever read in my entire life. Like, he just cares so much for Candy, even if she doesn't feel the same way for him. Like, he's just so obsessed with her that he just wants her to be a part of his life, and he doesn't care in what, like, aspect of his life he's a part of, whether they're best friends, whether they're lovers, whether they're boyfriend and girlfriend. Like, he simply just does not care, and I really, like, it really warms my heart. So if you like, this is kind of like, if the book boyfriend is your type, read this book. If you love, like, a caring, funny, like, willing to do anything for you, like, it's different than, like, the typical, like, I hate everyone but you, like, I'm gonna kill them, like, dark romance. It's like that, like, light romance. Like, I'll do anything for you, like, you mean so much to me. Like, I'm gonna show you by my actions, not by, like, murdering anyone that looks at you, kind of thing. And then the next book we're going to talk about is not going to be a surprise to literally anybody, but I have to plug this series as much as possible. Got to make my tattoo for it worth it. This is going to be about the Crave series overall. I would literally let any single one of the characters, okay, except, like, the villain characters, but, like, any of the protagonists date one of my children, like Grace, Macy. Like, I'll talk about them in another video. Like, I'm not going to put Crave in both of them, but just know, every single person in the Crave series, such character-driven stories, so many characters, so much plot, absolutely love. But to get to this character, you have to get through the first book. So if you've not read the first book, maybe skip this unless you don't care. And then if you are considering finishing the series, this is why. Hudson Vega is my #1 book boyfriend of all time. I literally have a tattoo of his girlfriend on my arm. I have read every single one of Tracy Wolf's books. I met her. I'm literally obsessed with her. She's the sweetest lady ever. Signed every single one of my books and convinced my big to read the books as well. Hudson in the first book is made to seem as this villain. He is dead under false pretenses. He is just like completely ripped apart in this book. He is just, everyone's like, I hate him, he's horrible. And I felt that way reading the book, obviously, because like that's all I knew was that Hudson was a terrible person. And then in the second book, Hudson is back alive. I'm not going to tell you how that happens, but it's really interesting the way that Tracy Wolf like makes it happen. And he is so like humble. Like he just lets people say terrible things about him, and he never is like, oh, like, let me tell you why that's not true, like trying to like save himself. He wants people to learn for themselves that he's a good person. Like he doesn't want other people to think of him this way, but he doesn't want to force them to see that him in a different light if they don't want to. And so I just think he's like the sweetest, like most humble book boyfriend. Like he just simply is everything I wanted in a man. I think I love him so much because my fiance reminds me so much of him. Like every single one of his and Grace's like romance scenes like makes me sob my eyes out because I'm like, damn, I have IRL Hudson Vega in my house and we're getting married. So take that with a grain of salt. I think Hudson is amazing. I think he cares for everyone, not even just Grace. Like his love and his character for like the entire series, as well as just the appreciation that he has for every single individual person in the story. Like he is the type of person that's like, I'll make this up to you, and he never forgets it. And I just, chef's kiss, S tier book boyfriend. Now that we've got those 2 books out of the way, I have a couple more recommendations. The first one is going to be One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. We all know I'm a whore for Taylor Jenkins Reid, so as I said, take this one with a grain of salt. But One True Loves is the story of a girl named Emma, and Emma's husband dies in a helicopter accident, as far as she's concerned. So she chooses to continue her life, and throughout the story you see her love story with her original husband. They were high school sweethearts and things like that. This book is damaged. Hello. They were high school sweethearts, and she's just absolutely enamored by him, but obviously she's really young when they die, and so she wants to move on with her life, and she meets a boy named Sam who she knew when she was younger. He worked at her parents' bookshop, and he's just absolutely in love with her, and they get engaged. And then like pretty frequently after they got engaged, not frequently, recently, like close to the time in which they got engaged, her husband is found alive, and he calls her and he's like, I'm coming home. And she is just in shock. Like her entire world is flipped apart. She had this entire life with Jesse, and then she has an entire life with Sam, and now she has to decide like what she wants to do. And I just think that Sam in this book is absolutely phenomenal. Like he is so patient with her. He is like, you obviously have gone through something traumatic. Like take your time to figure out like where I fit into your life. And if you realize like, hey, like I love you, Sam, but like Jesse's my day one, like I'm not gonna abandon him like that, like good for you. Like I'm obviously gonna be upset, but like I'm not gonna tell you not to go see your dead husband. Do you know what I'm saying? And I just think that like he's so genuine and selfless to be able to be like, go see your dead husband, go like have these like conversations. Because if my husband were to do that, like if my husband were to die and then come back, and the person that I was with at the time was like, no, like we're married now, like we're together, you don't need to see him, like what is the point? That would be an immediate turn off for me. So that's why I love Sam. He's selfless, he's genuine and kind. And so if you want someone to root for, if you want a lighthearted story, I definitely recommend this book. The next book I'm going to talk about is a different genre, not really different, but like a subgenre of romance, and that is a romance suspense novel. And this series I have been absolutely loving, so thank you so much to Valentine PR for sending me the 3rd book, which is also up there. It's called Keep This Promise. So excited to read it. But the first book we're going to be talking about is Help Me Remember. This is the first book in the Rose Canyon series, and if you watched my 2023 TBR, you saw that I talked about Give Me Love. Give Me Love, amazing. Like, it's just hidden after hidden, which is why I'm so excited to read Keep This Promise. But Help Me Remember is a story about a girl named Brielle, and Brielle gets hurt in an accident which ends up murdering her brother. Like, I think she gets like pistol whipped, like somehow in this accident that her brother was murdered in, Brielle gets amnesia. And she wakes up in the hospital not remembering anything that happened in like the past 4 months or like 3 years. It's like, I'm really unsure about that. It's been like 6 months since I read this. But Brielle has amnesia, and for the past 4 months, she's been secretly dating her brother's best friend, Spencer. But since she was secretly dating, no one in her family knows that. But she also cannot have her memory jogged because her testimony in trial would not withstand if she does not come up with the memories on her own. So she is just left in the dark and has to figure out all of her memories on her own, while also, like, they're trying to find her brother's killer because he got murdered. And the boy in this book, his name is Spencer, who is her brother's best friend, is an investigative journalist. So he decides he's going to take Brielle to a bunch of different places. Also, if you can hear Winston running, like, I'm really sorry about that. He decides he's going to take Brielle to all these places that he thinks will jog her memory. And when I tell you Sam was selfless, Spencer is selfless. Like, Spencer is taking Brielle to all of these places in which they've had these, like, romantic, like, loving moments, like, height of their relationship experiences, and she's not remembering any of it. And so it's, like, absolutely insane to me that he's so willing to just help her because he wants her to remember, like, what happened to her brother, but also, like, he loves her. Like, he wants to be back with his girlfriend, and, like, I don't know. It's just, like, so sweet to me. Like, I literally cried so hard reading this because Spencer is getting hurt every single time Brielle doesn't remember something. But Spencer also can't be like, hey, girly pop, we're married, or we're engaged, or we're whatever, dating. Like, he can't tell her that. And so it's, like, so hard for him. And I'm, like, sitting here being like, girl, just, like, wake the fuck up. Like, please, I cannot keep doing this. But yeah, I, like, really loved this book. And I'm sure you'll see the series in my videos, like, 100 times more because I just, like, I don't know what it is, like what kind of crack she puts in here, but it's good crack. The next book boyfriend I'm going to talk about is Alex Nielsen from People We Meet on Vacation. Now, this book actually pleasantly surprised me. When I first read this book, when I first owned this book, I shall backtrack. I bought it at Powell's bookstore in Oregon, and I was like, Ayla, like, for Christmas, you can just come to my house and pick out some books that you want to buy, or that you want to read, because I had a lot of books on my shelf that I hadn't read, or books that I knew I wasn't going to read again, and this was one of them, and I was like, yeah, I've literally had that since August, like, I don't need to read it. And then, for my future sister-in-law's birthday, I bought her Beach Read, and this was on the buy one, get one 50% off table with Beach Read, and I was like, you know what, like, I loved Beach Read, like, I absolutely adore Beach Read, and I'm sure I'll read both of these books again in the summertime, but something about People We Meet on Vacation just, like, called to me. I don't know. And so I bought it again, and I read it pretty frequently after. I keep saying frequently. Frequently is not supposed to be used that way. Pretty recently, no, like, what is the word I'm trying to think of? Like, relatively soon, as when I bought this book, like relatively close to when I bought this book. There we go, some words. I started reading it, and I was like, okay, well, I annotated Beach Read, so let me annotate People We Meet on Vacation, and this was the result. Hella tabs, okay? I am a big annotator. Like, I annotate everything. Right now, I'm reading A Little Life still, and annotating the shit out of A Little Life, and so I took my time with this book. And when I tell you that Alex Nielsen is so similar to my fiance. Like, I say that about Hudson Vega in the way that, like, Hudson Vega is just, like, my all-time favorite person. People We Meet on Vacation, and specifically Alex, are so, like, they remind me of my fiance. Like, Alex Nielsen made sure that he was Poppy's friend first. Like, this is a friends to lovers novel. And basically what happens in the novel is that Poppy is a travel blogger, and once a year, her and Alex would take a trip. And then they have, like, one really weird night, and they just, like, don't speak for, like, 5 years. And then she's like, all right, I'm going to invite Alex to come on a trip with me. And he says yes, because they're best friends. And they've never really, like, talked about what happened between them. Sorry, Winston was being annoying. They never really talked about what happened between them. And so she wants to be friends with him again. Like, she misses having him in her life. But obviously what happened between them was something related to having real life feelings for each other. And so Alex and Poppy are on this vacation and, like, talking about their feelings. Alex has had a girlfriend for a really long time, and she finds out he broke up with her. Like, all these things. Like, he made sure at his core he was there for her. Like, every single step of the way, Alex Nielsen was there for her. And that warms my heart. But also, Alex has seen all the trouble that Poppy has gone in relationship-wise, and when he found out that he was in love with her and he thought maybe someday in the future they would end up together, he took every prevention possible to make sure that he would be there for her and be the perfect guy for her. And so just the fact that he played the friend game for so long, the longest game Alex Nielsen was in for. He even had his own relationships. He watched her go through all of her relationships. Even in the 5 years that they just didn't talk, Alex was she's on my mind. She's at the top of my list. Who do I want to call when I'm having a bad day? Poppy, 100% of the time. And so I was just obsessed with this idea that your person, your lover, your soulmate, your significant other, they are your best friend first, and he is the definition of that word. So if you love Friends to Lovers novels, I wouldn't say this is my favorite one because I do love Anna and the French Kiss, and I have another video I want to film about Friends to Lovers because I filmed one about Enemies to Lovers, but this book is high on the list for best Friends to Lovers I've ever read. I'm going to be making another video for this weekend called Book Girlfriends or Book Girls I Would Let Date My Child. So it'll be kind of a two-parter this week. And then like I said, I'm going to be filming books I will take no criticism on, books I want to reread. So I have a couple ideas. So hopefully I can get those filmed so that we can just post throughout this year, maybe even do double posts. We'll see how my schedule's working out. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, comment, and subscribe down below. Follow, all of my links are in my bio. Go listen to the latest episode of my new podcast if you're struggling getting into reading or getting out of a reading slump. Yeah, go follow my TikTok. I'm so close to 10,000 followers. It's insane. I have 500 left, which seems like a lot, but for me, it's a lot closer than they've been in the past. But yeah, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye!